What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined as always by my dad, Sean, and today, reactions to the classics. We got another top 10 song reaction list, and this time we're going to be looking at Van Morrison.
Van the man.
Somebody that we haven't featured too much on the channel, so I'm happy to kind of get rocking with some Mr. Morrison. He has such a big body of work. This will be a nice little primer here. This list comes courtesy of our patron, and kind of the go-getter behind this idea for this
man.
Top 10 series, Rich. So
much props to Rich.
Yeah.
Rich is a very smart guy on music. You guys would not believe the lists he is accumulated from the very start of rock and roll. It's absolutely amazing. He's got them all in a book. I've seen him. He sent me a video of it. It's unreal. So while you may not agree with the list, believe me, this man knows what he's talking about. It's well researched. So
yeah, absolutely. And Van is kind of notoriously tough on the old YouTube with the studio stuff. So we're gonna have a link, y'all, below to another site where you can, if you want to follow along with us with the songs as well, you can do that. If you just want to see if you already know all these songs, and you can just keep watching the YouTube video, whatever floats your boat, man. So with all that out of the way, I guess we can kind of do a little quick facts here, how Rich came up with this list, and then we'll get the countdown started.
Yeah, Rich just said these are his words. I always like to say his words at first. That way, it kind of frames up the list for you. If there's something you think that's missing, sometimes he explains why it is. But Rich said, "Not sure it can be done. ... Van has over 40 studio albums to his credit, but I need to hear you guys review some of his classics." Then he had sent me the list does not include his work with the group Them. Them had a couple of smash hits, Here Comes the Night and Gloria. They're both great songs, but the list is strictly Van's solo material. And of course, Trey, Van is in both the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Songwriters Hall of Fame, so that's a very rare thing. We're going to start this off with a song from St. Dominic's Preview in 1974. Jackie Wilson Set. It only went to 61 in the U.S., and you're going to find that a lot as we go through these. Not a lot of chart success singles-wise. Both the music and lyrics are inspired, obviously, by Jackie Wilson in his song Reet Petite, which I've never heard of.
That's a great name.
That is a great name, though, which is directly quoted in the song. Van also acknowledged later in his career that his vocals are also influenced by Jackie Wilson, the 1950s soul singer, remarking that Wilson's consecutive hits were an important influence in developing his early vocal style, as is the case with all these guys, whether it's Buddy Holly or Elvis or Little Richard. You find guys of this age. I mean, the Beatles were highly influenced. Springsteen was highly influenced by the Beatles themselves. Like, everybody's influenced by someone, so it's good to know that Jackie Wilson getting a little shout out here from Van. And Trey, I think we were talking before this. I think we only know one of these songs.
Yeah, I know.
I may know something else when I hear it, but I think I only know one of these songs. Man.
So I always like doing those lists where we don't know a lot, because then at the end we'll kind of see what our favorites were of these 10 and be able to dive in more. And before we get started, y'all, you enjoy this, be sure to hit that big thumbs up. That helps us out. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out all our social media stuff down below.
And check out our Patreon if you want us to do a list for you, or even if you just want to support us in any way, guys. We much appreciate our patrons. It helps us keep this channel going. You can support us for as little as $1 a month.
All right, as always, we're going to have the lyrics pulled up. We'll kind of save the meat of our reaction towards the end, since I know this will get blocked on YouTube.
Yeah, we won't say much during the song.
So we'll save our thoughts on the songs toward the end. So let's enjoy some Van Morrison. Started out with Jackie Wilson Said. Let's get it. All right, Jackie Wilson Said, I'm in Heaven. I thought that was a good way to start this list off.
I did too. I thought, the way the lyrics are written, it's all written kind of as one whole verse without, so it's an interesting songwriting style. I don't know if we're going to find that on the rest of the songs, if that's how he writes, because some artists do. We're just in this in the way that it had to be paced. I think being Northern Irish and then trying to sing in like a 50s, American rock sound gives it an interesting delivery, vocal style, like the heaven, the way he said heaven and doing those things. It's cool. It's interesting to have to do it that way, so it comes off being very unique.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the arrangement, with it had that soul with I really enjoyed the brass instrumentation
from
in
the
there.
jump.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of set, Jackie Wilson, set that style forth a little bit there. So I enjoyed that. Definitely an upbeat tune.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of a, just a nice little rocker with the brass instrumentation in there. It just gave a nice vibe and ambiance to it. and a little catchy, the ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, kind of in the middle there. He's so known as a songwriter. This, it's not going to blow you away lyrically,
but even that part you mentioned, like, that's the hook of 50 songs, right? I mean, you got to have that hook in there, so he wrote it in that style. So yeah, very good point.
Exactly. So even when he's not trying to write, like a masterpiece lyrically, which we did that Madam George song where he was just spitting for 10 minutes straight.
That was crazy.
It shows he can do some different styles, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of different styles of music here. And we're gonna jump ahead now to a 2005 record, man.
31 years.
Magic Time, from the record Magic Time, rather, the opener, Stranded.
Yeah, and just in the lyrics, he laments kind of being confused and isolated in a modern world from which he feels disconnected. And I think as you hit a certain age, everyone's going to feel that way, like the world passes you by, especially with the way technology is advancing. I mean, if he wrote this in 2005, in 2020, it's probably what the heck is going on. But it ought to be interesting. 31 years later, so let's see how Van sounds now.
Let's get it, man. I know this one's a little bit of a longer tune as well, so I'll be curious where Van goes with it. All right, Stranded, from 2005. I like the way we started with the Jackie Wilson said tune that was very upbeat, fast tempo, and then we go to here, Stranded, where it's just very very low key, kind of. You get that reflection of a man that is older and very introspective kind of man.
Yes, that's a great way of putting it. Yeah, I don't have a lot more to add to. I think it's cool that we jumped ahead 31 years. Obviously, if you're a Van fan, you're going to figure out that most of the songs are from way back.
Yeah.
But we do have one more that's a little more modern, like this song was. Totally different. Not only in vocal delivery, but just instrumentally, everything, total vibe of the song, just absolutely night and day, which shows versility.
Yeah, I enjoyed the little solo at the end, further that jazz.
Man, it was just a nice,
piano
smooth song.
And I really do love the way he kind of framed it. I'm stranded between the devil and the deep blue sea. There ain't nowhere else to be except right here, and I'm stranded.
I thought that was great.
It came out 5-6 years too later. It could have been this could have been a song on an old Castaway, man. This would have fit
exactly
perfect.
Right. That would have been perfect.
But another solid tune there. Now we're gonna go throw it back to 71, as you were mentioning. To the year of your birth here.
The year of my birth. What a great year it was. We had that, and we had. I'm gonna say it's called Tupelo, honey. If I'm wrong, guys, you can slam me at the end. But there's Tupelo, Mississippi, so that's the only time I've ever seen that word. 1971, Wild Night is the opening track. I went to 28 in the U.S., but Trey, I actually know this song.
Do you?
But I didn't count it as I knew the song because I don't know his version. But John Mellencamp did a version in 1994 that went to number 3 in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
I really like Mellencamp, and I love that version of his song. So I'm very curious to see what the original sounds like. Cool. 23 years beforehand. So,
all right, man. We'll keep on rocking, man. Number 8, Wild Night. Wild Night. What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I knew the Mellencamp song very well, but I probably heard the Mellencamp song in 25 years, But
this is a tune you can see Mellencamp, kind of fitting his vibe.
So forgive me if I'm wrong. Memory tells me that Mellencamp's was just a touch faster.
Okay.
He sped up the tempo a little bit. So listening to it this way was interesting because I don't think you should try to record a song exactly the same. I think you should mess with it a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. So this was a different listen for me. Musically, like the arrangement stuff is pretty much the same as Mellencamp does. As you said during the song, it's your favorite arrangement musically. Just an excellent song, man. An excellent, fun song. Man.
Again, third track or third, little differentiation.
Definitely.
I know the first track, Jackie Wilson said, had those horns in it, but this had a little bit more to it, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
This one didn't give you like a moment to get comfortable and breathe before it kind of switched up, and that's not a bad thing. I say that as a compliment because it was 3.5 minutes of just
it was going, man.
Action, man. Really enjoyed his vocal delivery on that. I'll be surprised if this doesn't get in my top 3 favorite tracks.
I would be surprised too if it doesn't get in mine
at the end of this. But Van Hidden, man. So Wild Night, number 8, and now we're gonna go to Precious Time from 1999.
Yeah, this is the other one where we're gonna speed ahead, and basically it's just some introspective stuff on the quick passage of time. And I can tell you, as I'm almost 49, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm almost 50 years old. I view myself as like 30. I'm like, wait a minute, what happened here? Like,
well, even, I mean, I'm 24, like, but I remember, 6 years ago, I graduated high school, and it seems like
it just
flew
goes,
by,
and the older you get, the
so.
faster it goes, and you're like, wait a minute, what happened here, man?
Yeah.
I don't understand. So this one I'm looking forward to, and obviously he is older at this point. It went to 36 in the UK, so he still got in the top 40 for this thing way back in '99. So
All right.
precious time, and that's the thing. All
Precious.
time is precious, baby. It's the only thing you can't buy more of.
That's right. Number 7. Let's get it. Precious Time coming in at number 7. I enjoyed that one because it had yet again, talking of different arrangements, this had a little gospel flair to it.
It did.
With the organ, and the organ wasn't overpowering. If you watched us, sometimes I dog on the organ a little bit.
I mean, I'm not gonna jump in there and defend the organ for the most part. It's got to be used very subtly. It's a great tool if it's used subtly.
And band did that here.
Yeah, exactly.
And a little bit of the female backing vocals, a little bit.
A nice touch.
I enjoy his verse here. Well, this world is cruel with its twists and its turns, but the fire's still in me and the passion it burns. I love her madly till the day I die, till hell freezes over and the rivers run dry.
I thought that was the best verse. There's a few of those verses. Yeah. Maybe I don't exactly agree with theologically, but it's got the right message that what time is passing away.
Well, yeah, and I think too he's mentioning, like, it doesn't matter what religion, whether it's right or wrong. It doesn't matter if you're a king or a queen.
We're all gonna die.
Time comes to everybody, and it's interesting too. You fight so hard to be king or queen. Yeah, you only got it for a day.
That's exactly right, man. It doesn't make any difference, and you realize it's fleeting, man.
But it's still interesting to note how Van still says it in that verse. I said he's still going to fight for love, even though he knows there's another thing he said too. It doesn't matter what route you take. Sooner or later, the heart's going to break. Just because eventually somebody you know is going to die. You're going to die. There's going to be heartbreak there.
Exactly, man.
So I thought this was a really well done track.
Great diversity, as you mentioned.
I was about to say, Rich has done a good job, I think, curating this list to show off the different sides of Van here, and we're going to keep that going in song number 6 off of a record I've heard rave reviews about.
I have too. I've never listened to it.
Moondance with his song Caravan. I've heard great things about this song. So
I have too. I've never heard Moondance. I did listen to one of his albums one time, and I'll bring that up at the end and kind of talk about that. But he also played this with the band in the movie The Last Waltz.
There you
and
go.
he wrote it when he was living in Woodstock, New York, speaking of the band, in 1970, and his nearest neighbors were way down the road. So I don't know what that says to the lyrics of the song, because I haven't read the lyrics of the songs, because I like to, on these types of top 10s, I just like to read them as we're experiencing
going in
it with you. So let's check this one out.
Let's get it, man.
Almost halfway there already.
Number 6, Caravan. Yeah, it's a quick moving list. All right, man. Number 6, Caravan. I really enjoyed that one too.
Yeah, I love the vibe in that song. Just the atmosphere was fantastic. And you mentioned during the song that maybe we've heard this, maybe we play. We do live streams, guys, every Friday night at 6 o'clock Central Time. So if you ever want to drop by, we're usually on for about 3 hours. Just play a bunch of different music and kind of chat. I think we might have had this one in there, but it's great, man.
It really is.
It's great.
And it seemed the arrangement. I'm really impressed with how his songs, the ones we've heard up on this list so far, are just very expertly arranged. You had points in the tune where the saxophones were kind of put front and center, and then that final verse and outro more focused on that guitar. You had the piano in there, just kind of as a nice foundation of the track as well. And it's interesting too how he can make words that are so simple so hooky and catchy. The la 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 la. It's like, wow, this you don't need crazy lyrics to make a catchy song that's just going to get stuck in your head, man. Because especially at the end where he said it like 20 times.
But it didn't get old.
It didn't.
Because as we're following on with the lyrics, I'm like, man, he's going to go all in on this for a little while. That might be a bit much. That's what you think when you see all that, and then it's like, oh no, man. Just because it was the atmosphere, man, it's just fantastic.
And the imagery there just does bring to mind just a caravan of kind of some vagabonds, some people out here. I enjoyed the way telling of the woman and the barefoot gypsy and the caravan.
The gypsies, Trey, were a big thing. Springsteen mentions them all the time in the 70s. He even mentioned them clear in the 90s on a song brilliant disguise who was marrying him and the woman in the song. But the gypsies were a big thing to talk about the 70s. Here in the 2000s, especially 2020, we don't really mention gypsies too much, but it's a cool thing they mentioned back in the 70s. Now we're to the top 5. We're to another album from 1970, but it's not Moondance. It's his band and street choir. It's the song Domino. It's the opening song, and it's what it sounds like. It's his tribute to Fats Domino.
Interesting.
He said he wrote it long before 1970 when it came out. And also went to number 9. This is his highest ranking single ever in the U.S.
That's unbelievable to me.
That's what I thought too. And off an album that, I had never heard of.
I mean, I don't know a ton about Fats Domino, but I wouldn't see him and Van having...
No, I wouldn't either, because Domino was a big-time piano guy, But,
interesting.
Hey, man, maybe you like the vocal delivery or...
Wow, cool. Cool beans, man. So let's get into it. Domino, number 5. We're in the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Domino.
Once again, a lightning fast, a little over 3-minute song that just packs so much stuff in there.
And kind of as I was mentioning in the song itself a little bit, it had that big band, full, rich sound to it there. I didn't know that Van utilized the brass instrument as much as I don't know, in my head I thought he was
I knew he was famous for that, but
that's a sound I really enjoy, so I've really been enjoying this top 10 list, Rich, and that song was another one that just flew on by.
Yeah, man.
Just a hair over 3 minutes. Arrangement, even though it kind of has some of those same that same atmosphere a little bit with it's arranged in a way that still, if it's horn dominated, it still is able to kind of stand out on its own 2 legs compared to some of the other songs Jackie Wilson, like the first song that had a much different arrangement than this one, even though they utilized a lot of the same instruments. So
for sure,
just an interesting note there. So number 5, Domino. All right, and now that takes us to number 4, the only song on this list that I knew going in, and man, it is a doozy, fantastic track, Brown Eyed Girl from Blowing Your Mind, 1967, so I think the earliest song on this list.
By far, yeah, and Trey, I knew this song as well. I had never heard it except years ago. Your mom, when I was first dating her many years ago, although she looks every bit as good as she did then, I certainly do not. She said this was her favorite song at the time because she is a brown-eyed girl.
Oh, there you go.
I had never heard of him or heard the song, but she played it for me before we could just dial anything up on the phone. But Brown Eyed Girl went to number 10 in the U.S. It's number 109 on the Rolling Stones 500 Greatest Songs of All Time. It's in the Grammy Hall of Fame. The way this comes about, we mentioned earlier, Van's in the group Them.
Yeah.
They have a record deal with Decca. They break up. He's looking for a record deal. He goes back to Ireland. He gets a call from Bert Burns, the owner of Bang Records, who produced a number of recordings for Them.
Okay.
He flies to New York, doesn't have a lawyer, doesn't have anything. He's trying to get a record deal. So, you can put yourself in his place. You're desperate. You need a record deal. So he signs a record deal. Well, it's the worst record deal pretty much you could sign. It basically said that he would have to recoup all of the studio costs. He's paying for everything before he ever starts getting royalties. And then they said there was a little creative recording. So Van claims he never made a dime off this song. Never made a dime.
Is crazy, and we see that so much, especially in the 60s.
Horrible, man. 60s and 70s.
These groups, they're so desperate to get that.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna
contract?
What are you gonna do? And so then the Bert Burns guy actually puts an album out. This album, which Van doesn't even know he's going to put out, takes some songs from that recording session because when Brown Eyed Girl went big and just threw that the whole album out. So I would imagine Van and Bert really didn't see eye to eye after this. But the song itself had a little bit of controversy back, in 1967. The radio edit removed the lyrics "making love in the green grass," replacing them with "laughing and a running." Hey, hey. And the other thing I found interesting, Van said when he wrote the song, he actually wrote Brown Skin Girl. Says more kind of a Jamaican song. But when he sang it, for some reason, he just changed the word. He said, I don't even know why I did that. I didn't realize it until afterwards. So I know I went into kind of detail, but this is, in my opinion, his most famous song, obviously. Yeah. It's in the Grammy Hall of Fame. Like I said, 109 on the top 500. I mean, it's a fantastic tune. So all that to say, Trey, let's rock a little Brown.
Let's enjoy it, man. Number 4, Brown Eyed Girl. Brown Eyed Girl coming in number 4. I ain't going to disagree with that, Rich.
No, not at all. I think, what I noticed in the song, a couple of things. One, I forgot to mention Van doesn't like this song. He said, I've written about 300 better songs. So the Burt Burns used it and kind of produced it. He let him do it and kind of changed it around. It's one of only 10 songs in United States history to have at least 10 million radio plays.
Ooh.
So, like...
Big feather in the cap right there, man.
It remains the most downloaded and played song of the 1960s. So that is just unreal. So he might not think it's one of the best 300 songs. I obviously haven't heard any of his catalog, but I would find it hard to believe in my book. I think one of the things, and I say this with all due respect, actually to the other guy, but because he wouldn't be able to sing it nearly as good, but Jimmy Buffett could have sang this song. The Jamaican kind of feel like you say, like the party, like it just makes you smile, man.
It does.
It's just a good time when you hear the arrangement. It's just a fantastic song.
Well, and we mentioned it a few songs back. The whole la 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 la.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned that, and there it is again.
Going with that catchiness right there, man, and just I enjoy kind of the again that looking back in the song, thinking about his first love, thinking about the green grass, man. Seeing that and noting how it's hard to find my way now that I'm all on my own. So even though it has this upbeat kind of tempo, there is some moments of vulnerability in there
exactly.
and kind of realness. So I just love it, man. I love the instrumentation on this. As you said, the chorus is one of the more catchier ones we've heard up to this point, and just a 60s classic tune. So number 4, Brown Eyed Girl, can't go wrong with that, Rich. And now we are going to go back to a record that we already had a song appear.
Yes, we
did. I think this is the first time we're going to have a duplicate here. We are going to number 3, Moondance, from the record, of course, Moondance in 1970. Morrison did not release the song as a single until November of 77, went to 92 in the U.S. It's the song that Morrison plays most frequently in concert. And
it's one of those that, I don't know what the story is. I didn't go any deeper on that, so I failed you guys on the research a little bit. I don't know why it was released 7.5 years after, but he said he wrote it when he was living in Cambridge, Massachusetts. He said he wrote the melody first, played the melody on a soprano sax, and he had a song he knew he could write lyrics with that melody. Okay. He said Sinatra wouldn't have been out of place singing this song. It's very sophisticated. So I have a feeling, Trey, as you mentioned, we've gone to all these different styles.
Yeah.
That here we go again.
We're going to get something else in the coppers, man. All right, well, I really enjoyed Caravan from this
too,
record.
Bro.
I know this and Astral Weeks are kind of cited as 2 of his best records. So let's
I'll have some thoughts on that.
Let's get to it, man. Number 3, Moondance.
Definitely different than anything we have heard.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. This one won't end up on my favorites list, but I think it deserves a spot this high just for, I thought it was lyrically probably, one of the more impressive ones we've heard at this point. And just the arrangement, it was very, even though I like kind of more the brass-dominated instrumentation or and arrangements we've heard, this was still, you got to tip your cap to it with I like the way they kind of blended the flute in there with the saxophone and the piano and whatnot. So even though it wasn't like my favorite immediate arrangement, this is one I think that'll take a little bit to grow.
See, I was going to say the same thing. For me, this is my least favorite song so far, just because it is so much different. It's not the style of music that I listen to often. I guess I listen to whatever we're doing on the channel for the last year and a half, basically. But, for everything you said, I agree that it should be high because it just shows the absolute diversity. And able to pull off anything. Because
this is compared to Caravan, which is the
same album. Yeah, I was thinking that night and day.
Very, very interesting there. It, like I noted though, again, I think he's able to kind of get to the heart of the romantic kind of feelings in there. Just you can kind of envision the one more dance, one more Moondance with you, and just kind of some of the stuff he's saying. Just very good wordplay in here. Every time I touch you, you just tremble inside, and then I know how much you want me that you can't hide. Van got that gusto, knowing that he's having this effect. So interesting little instrumental break too. So that is Moondance. Now we're up to our top 2, ladies and gentlemen. Has your favorite song been up yet? Maybe it's this next one.
Maybe it is. I'm going to go again with the word Tupelo. Tupelo Honey. The title track, Tupelo Honey, said it was named after a mild-tasting Tupelo honey produced in the southeastern U.S. So I'm going to guess that's out of Tupelo, Mississippi. Went to 47 in the U.S. Trey, Van must really like this melody because he sang a song the year before called Crazy Love. And he borrowed the melody for this song. Oh. And then he later used it way up in 1991 on the song Why Must I Always Explain? Now, we don't know this song. However, Bruce Springsteen said his song Racing in the Street is influenced structurally by the Van Morrison song. Not only have we reviewed Racing in the Street's album, Darkness on the Edge of Town, where it's at, we've also done a song reaction to Racing in the Street. So we know that song very well. So now I want to know if I can tell in this song.
And this is the longest track on this list, coming in at 7 minutes. So I'll be curious what the arrangement,
what he does with that,
what the sound's going to be, because we've had so many different types of sounds. So let's see what we got here. Number 2, man, Tupelo Honey. Tupelo Honey. I saw midway through the song you went up, made a note on your computer. What was that note?
I can't tell you, man. It'll be at the end.
No, you got it. Well, now I've given it away.
Well, here's the thing. We never really talked about this, but it makes sense. It seems like every top 10, once it's the fourth one we've done, we pick our favorite 3 songs, which just seems to make sense. So I got a little scared because, see, this one got the fave.
Yeah.
And I already have 2 faves. So now I'm a little worried about this last song because I'm going to have to cut some. This song, it's the second song in a row he's done this, okay? I want to kind of bring this up, too. He ended with verse 1 again.
Yeah, that is interesting songwriting.
It's a songwriting technique that I enjoy because to do it really well, you have to write an incredibly good song. Because to make it fit at the front and then to go 360 and make it fit at the end.
Yeah, kind of bookended in a way.
Bookended, you really have to write solid lyrics in between. You really got to think about verse 1. And we read, so many lyrics. Some verse 1s are like, whatever, they're just trying to get to the catchy chorus. So I thought that was tremendous. Also, I love Bruce Springsteen. You know this. I absolutely love. I mean, I don't really hear much of Racing in the Street in this song.
I don't particularly either.
This song has a lot more guitar and it's more upbeat, sort of. I just think it was a great performance. Van wrote this for his wife, Janet, at the time, his first wife, just about the happiness he had. And I think in that you can hear it.
Oh, definitely.
Stronger emotion than you hear from him in the other songs so far.
No, man, I don't have too much to add. I was
going to
say
a lot, but
that was good. Man. This is one that it's a definite like wedding type of song. I think, man, this would be perfect for a wedding. Just as you mentioned, you really can tell that happiness that Van is having up in the place, and enjoyed the backing vocals that came in a little bit. Very well arranged, 7 minutes long, didn't overstay its welcome.
No, not at all.
Tough to do in a song, and it, quite the contrast from Wild Night, which I really enjoyed, which starts this record off. So this is a record that I'm gonna have to dive into this and Moondance. Just in my free time, man. So Tupelo Honey coming in at the 2-hole, have no qualms with that, Rich. And now we're to number 1, ladies and gentlemen, the most represented record on this list, Moondance, with the song Into the Mystic. So that is in the number 1 hole. I don't know much about it.
No, and the only thing in my research it said is that the lyrics and the music itself seem to fit perfectly. People compare it somewhat to Yesterday.
Oh, interesting.
That is a big comparison. So supposedly the lyrics are about a spiritual quest, but I haven't read them. Let's find out. But man, a little worried, Trey, that I'm going to have to chop one of the songs that I really like.
This one only 3:28, so it'll be a little more compact than this last track, Tupelo Honey. But number 1, Into the Mystic. And there we have it, people. Number 1, Into the Mystic from Moondance. Man, that was another track that, I sometimes like songs, Dylan does this a lot, obviously, where it could bring forth a bunch of different interpretations.
Exactly.
Depending on the viewpoint of the listener. It's not, this song in particular, I don't think is like cut and dry. It does have that, at the risk of sounding basic, just that mysticism around it.
No, it does. Yeah, I agree.
Just from that first verse, it's kind of intriguing. Like, okay, what does this mean? They were born before the wind, younger than the sun. The bonnie boat was one as we sailed into the mystic. And again, we talked about Gypsy earlier. He wants to rock our gypsy souls, man. Just like way back in the days of old and magnificently, we will float into the mystic. Is the mystic some nirvana, heaven-like place? Is it a state of mind? Who knows? And that's one of the reasons I enjoy that. Enjoy the kind of horns in there again, saxophone mixed with the prominent bass line and acoustic guitar in there. And it's interesting, this comes right after Caravan. This seems like it could be a closer to a record.
Yeah, it very much does, and I wonder if it closes outside one. I haven't looked at the old vinyl running order or not, but I was at least happy that this is not going to make my top 3. Yeah. It's very close.
Yeah, it's right in that ballpark.
As it kept going, I'm like, So, great tune, great number 1 pick. Great list. Now, obviously, I don't know all of Van's songs. Yeah. I don't know any of Van's songs. I mean, coming into this, we had done a song reaction to Madame George.
That's right.
Which is off Astral Weeks. That one I didn't really care for. Yeah. I really didn't. I respect it. I gave it a decent grade because I respect for what it is musically. And a couple months ago, I listened to Astral Weeks just because I thought, you know what, I've never listened to a band. That album's very well thought of. I listened to it, and I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I know you're Van Morrison fans, but I just wasn't feeling it, man. Yeah. I was like, okay. Now, I only listened to it once. I didn't look at the lyrics. It was casual listening. Not what I would do if I did an actual album review like we do. Not at all. I'd dive into it, listen to it multiple times. It'd probably grow on me. So when we came into this list, I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I don't know how much I'm looking forward to this. This is our 4th list that we've done. We also did Clapton, Skynyrd, and we did Radiohead. And I mean, I was familiar with a lot of the Radioheads.
That's right, yeah.
But this has been my favorite. Dan, too. And Steely Dan, that's right. So this is our 5th list. I keep saying 4th. I forgot. I keep thinking it's our 4th list we've done for Rich. This is my favorite one.
Yeah.
My least favorite song that I listened to on here was Moondance, and it's the one he's played the most in concert. Probably if you're a diehard fan, it might be your favorite one, but...
Yeah, this was a fun list.
What did you think, man? This is good.
This was probably my favorite as well, taking out Radiohead just since I knew all those tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
This has been my favorite as well, just diving in. I didn't know that his sound was so, horn dominated.
Right.
And as I mentioned, if y'all know me, I really do enjoy that type of sound. Just gives it that richness and fullness. His voice is... very consistent throughout the different eras. Is a good job kind of bringing forth that passion.
Yes.
A very unique voice as well. When you hear Van, you know that's Van. Utilizes the piano and some other stuff as well in these tunes. And great lyricism. I thought, throughout from 10 down to 1. So my favorite 3 tracks, man, I'm going to go Wild Night. That's still going to make it. Tupelo, Honey. And then I'm going to throw out Brown Eyed Girl since I had already known it, and I'll put Caravan in there as my other top 3 song.
So we're right there. I'm going to go Caravan.
Okay.
I'm going to go Tupelo, Honey.
All right.
And even though I knew it, I got to go Brown Eyed Girl.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you, though, I mean, a lot of these other songs are very high up for me, and that's usually not the case. The top 3 are usually pretty easy to pick on these lists for me so far.
There was so much, and I mean, as Rich said at the start, when you get a guy like Van who has so many records, so many songs, nailing it down to 50, let alone 10,
is nearly impossible.
It's going to be, I mean, you can make, 4 or 5 other lists just like this. So, but I think Rich did a good job doing the different variety and different kind of shades and sides to Van here for us to kind of get a primer and listen to. So Rich, as always, man, appreciate these lists.
Thank you, Rich.
A ton. Let us know, y'all, your top 10 Van Morrison songs if you can nail it down in the comments section below. Really have fun doing these. As always, Dad, appreciate the research.
Definitely, man. Lots of fun.
And until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Happy listening, and we will see ya.